room that doesn't sound that great. As you can hear, this room doesn't have much for acoustic treatment. You want it to sound more acoustically treated with acoustic foam and acoustic panel, and I'll show you exactly where to place them and how much you would need, and also what you need, which type of acoustic foam to buy, and also how to place them on the wall. There's a trick on how to do it that most people don't use, which I don't really know why, because it's the easiest way to install it on the wall without actually damaging the wall, and also the cheapest way. First off, these are not the acoustic foams that you should be using. You see, these are quite flimsy. They're 1-inch acoustic foam. They're the cheapest kind. I would just skip the 1-inch acoustic foam and go, let's see, with the 2-inch acoustic foam. As you can see, there's quite a difference. But the difference in price isn't that bad compared to the amount of sound quality that you'll gain using 2-inch versus 1-inch. Now, there's also 3 and 4-inch. If you just want to make the room sound better and you're not using it as a dedicated recording studio, then I just skip the 3 and 4-inch because they are quite more expensive, and the amount of difference you'll get in terms of sound quality isn't as big of a difference than the 1 and 2-inch will be when you go. The easiest and cheapest way to install acoustic foam on your wall is to use spray glue. Yeah. But you're probably wondering, okay, well, if I use spray glue, isn't it gonna do this on my wall? Yes, it will. It'll completely destroy your wall. You'll have to scrape that off if you ever want to remove it. The way to actually do it correctly and to be able to still use this spray glue, because it makes things a lot easier, you want to spray the acoustic foam with the spray glue, and then you want to attach it right on a cardboard. And then you place the cardboard on your wall using 2, maybe 4 command strips. You've just saved about half of the amount of command strips that you need just to use this. And also, this makes it a lot easier to hang on to the ceiling. This is the way to do it, to really save you a lot of aggravation in the future. So what do you think of this? A lot easier to install acoustic foam once you've sprayed it onto cardboard. First thing, before you start measuring, before you start placing them on the wall, the most important place to add acoustic foam or acoustic panel on the wall, if you are talking to somebody on a microphone, if you're recording anything, place the acoustic panels and acoustic foam behind the monitor, behind where your speakers would be. Typically, you'd have a speaker here, a speaker there. When you're talking, the sound waves that are coming out of your mouth, your voice, are going to reflect onto the wall. The place where you'd want to have any type of acoustic treatment, firstly, is behind the monitor, straight where you're talking. Because if you're talking like this, place the acoustic foam directly in front of your face, where your mouth would align. And also, don't just add 1. Add at least 4 acoustic foam or some acoustic panels. They work pretty well the same. Acoustic panels will work better than acoustic foam, but they do cost a lot more money. These panels are around $100 each. You can get them for a little cheaper. I'll have links in the description below of everything I talk about in this video. So if you're not going to be using any microphone and you just want to be using the room as a home theater, you just want to make it sound better, the speakers are here. They're pointing that way. So if you're sitting down in the middle of the room, you want to look side to side using what is called the mirror trick. I know it's very, very scientific. This is how the mirror trick works. You're sitting down, you look to your left, you look to your right, and you're trying to find out where the reflection point from the speakers are hitting the wall. The reflection points on the wall is where you want to start placing your acoustic foam. You want to cover typically about 25%, 15 to 25% of the room with acoustical treatment. But that's where the 2 reflection points will be, on your left and on your right, or in the front. So you'd want some acoustical treatment on the sides and behind you. So if you are going to be placing acoustical treatment about 25% of the room, where you want to place it is on the middle to the top of the wall, not really the bottom. You're just going to be wasting your money if you put acoustical treatment too low on the floor. You can use carpeting for that, or an area rug to kind of drown out the reflection points on the floor. But usually the bottom of the wall isn't really big for reflection points. So measure about 2 feet off the ground and start placing your acoustical foam there. And also use a level to make sure that they're all level on the wall and it looks good. Once you've determined where most of your acoustical foam is going to end up, now it's time to talk about your bass traps. Bass traps, if you don't have that many, the most important place to place them is starting from the top, working down. That's where it's going to work the best at absorbing the most low frequency noises, because they'll reside mostly at the top and not so much at the bottom of the wall. So if you are limited with your bass traps, always the top going down. If you have plenty, then you can just go down all the way to the floor. But what I would do instead of going all the way down to the floor, if you have enough, place them along the side of the wall on the ceiling. That corner is going to diffuse more sound waves using bass traps than if you would be placing it from the corner all the way to the wall. And you'll notice it'll be a little bit more worth it on the ceiling than on the floor. So it's not that complicated to completely treat your room with acoustical treatment and to do it without it costing that much money if you know exactly where to place it. Now, if you want to go a step further in utilizing these material to soundproof a gaming room where there's a lot of noise and echo and you'll need a lot more of these, video right there, I'll show you how, and you'll be quite surprised at the difference of how the room sounds before and after. So I'll see you in the next video, assuming that you subscribed.